Let's get to our NFL Rookie Roundup. And this is a segment where we're going to talk about all of the rookie quarterbacks and how they're progressing so far this season, how they're doing, and which ones we're most impressed with, kind of answer some superlatives about them. So let's talk about some of these rookies. So we're 4 weeks into the season. These rookie quarterbacks, honestly, and it might not come out on the stat sheet, but they are impressing me. And they are impressing, I think, everyone with the poise that they're playing with. This is probably the most poised class of rookies we've seen in a very long time. And it starts on the top. You know, Mac Jones, he's probably the standout here, completing 70% of his passes, very efficient through the air, over 1,000 yards. He's got the best touchdown interception ratio from anyone who started games, at least. No disrespect to Trey Lance, but he hasn't started a game yet, so we'll see how he does probably next week. Well, here's what I'll say. As far as who's been the most impressive quarterback out of this class so far, it's very easy to say Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones went into a situation where he had a lot of things in place that would help him succeed. And that is not an indictment on him. He's done exactly what he's supposed to do, if not more. He's done really good. And here's what I'll say. I was wrong about Mac Jones. I said that Mac Jones, to me, had probably some of the biggest bust potential in this draft. I was wrong because not only did he go to a situation that was good for him, but even with that, he's playing great. He's playing better than I thought he would, and he looks poised. He looks like an NFL quarterback, and he looks like someone who's going to be around for a long time, and I can see him develop. He's reading defenses now, which, you know, something he did. He struggled with at Alabama. He didn't do too much. A lot of that was done for him, but he's leading defenses. He's leading offenses. He's running a no-huddle offense. The other night against Tampa Bay, he was running a no-huddle offense for most of the game. So I'm wrong, dead wrong about that. Mac Jones, to me, he has impressed, honestly, more as far as who's the most impressive from draft night to here, it's Mac Jones. But here's what I'll also say. The other person who's impressed me a lot with what he's done is Trevor Lawrence. Because unlike Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence went to a situation where didn't have a good coach, where the offensive line was garbage, where he doesn't have a lot of weapons outside of James Robinson, who the Jaguars up until last week just refused to use. So he doesn't have the help that around him that these other teams have. The defense is trash. So in spite of that, though, the Jaguars were in the game against the Bengals, and Trevor Lawrence is leading this team. He is, and you can see it. He's poised. He's the only reason sometimes that his team is in games, and he's doing exactly what a player picked number 1 overall probably should be doing in this situation, which is uplifting his team. And I think he's on his way to doing that. And it's obviously not available firsthand on the stat sheets. 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Yeah, no, terrible stat line. I'm not going to lie to you. But he is asked to do a lot with what he's doing. Unlike someone like Mac Jones, who's not asked to do a lot, unlike someone like Trey Lance, who when he gets his start, he's not going to be asked to do too much as far as, you know, will the team only by himself. That's what basically that's what his responsibility is. That's what Trevor Lawrence's entire responsibility is right now. So being able to will your team by yourself is a tough situation, but he's a number 1 overall pick, and I think he's rising to the occasion, playing with poise, leading this team, and not letting the mistakes get the better of him, not letting the fact that Urban Meyer is a terrible NFL head coach get the better of him. And that's where I kind of think I was more so right. I thought Trevor Lawrence is doing just about what I thought he would be doing at this point in his career. And I think he's going to get better. That team needs to get better, though. First, Shad Khan and Tony Khan, man, you gotta fix that front office. You gotta fix that head coaching. You gotta fix the coaching. It is not good. Moving on to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is another person who suffered from bad coaching. I think Fields in last week's game actually showed a lot of what he probably should be doing, which is more so managing the games, using his athleticism to get out of the pocket and make plays. And I think the more they can continue to do that, the better he will be. Zack Wilson's interesting because he struggled mightily. He's in a very similar situation to Trevor Lawrence. He's in a very similar situation to Trevor Lawrence, as in bad team. doesn't have the talent around him to really be successful like a Mac Jones would. And it's basically the offense is almost entirely on him because Jets don't really have a running game either. So with Zack Wilson, I think it's a situation where he does have a good coach, but the problem is he's a defensive minded coach. And while he's trying to get that defense together, Zack Wilson's kind of he's kind of not by himself because he's obviously getting coached, but he's more separated at least from the head coach than some of these other quarterbacks are. But he showed poise in that game against the Titans, and if he can continue to do that, he'll be another guy to watch out for. And I think he's also someone who, given the fact that he's on the Jets, done about as well as people probably thought he would be doing. I know a lot of people were high on Zack Wilson. I wasn't as high on Zack Wilson. I thought he was more of a prospect than a prototype. But I do think that there's things to like about him, and I see what there was to like about him. And they align with what you thought. Dude has got a big arm. He doesn't he usually reads defenses pretty well. It has not. I think it's a little too fast for him right now. I genuinely think the way he's playing, it's a little too fast for him right now. He'll get better. The only issue I have is that team around him is really bad, and I don't know if he's a play like it is sink or swim for him. I'm very concerned that he's going to be in a very similar situation that Sam Darnold was in just a few years ago, where everyone labels him a bust because the team around him is trash, because he doesn't have the help that some of his other contemporaries would have, and that maybe he got pushed into the spotlight, pushed into the starting job at a time where he probably should have been holding the clipboard and letting someone else take the beating. He is one of the most rushed quarterbacks in the NFL too. Like, that offensive line is atrocious. Absolutely a dumpster fire. No sensible coach, no sensible team would put that offensive line out there. That's how bad the Jets offensive line is, especially with Mekhi Becton going down. Big ups to him. Hopefully he gets better soon for Zack Wilson's case. And finally, the other one is Trey Lance. Trey Lance, man, we've seen a very small sample size of him, but from what we've seen of him, he's doing pretty well. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Came into that second half in the last game, played pretty well, just about, if not as good as Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe. I believe he was just about the same as Jimmy Garoppolo in the effectiveness that he had in that game. I think the effectiveness he could have moving forward, however, is vastly leagues better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think look for Trey Lance to be a guy to if he gets that first start, he's going to keep the starting job. I truly believe that, and he's not going to let go for it for a long time. The Trey Lance is, to me, of all of these quarterbacks, from Justin Fields to Mac Jones to Trevor Lawrence to Zack Wilson to even Davis Mills, who I haven't mentioned yet, but we'll talk about Davis Mills in just a second. But out of all of these rookie quarterbacks, I think the biggest ceiling goes to Trey Lance. That doesn't mean he's going to be the best. That means if he reaches his full potential of what I think he can be, I do believe that Trey Lance is going to be the best out of this class. He's just got massive arm, huge intangibles, leadership skills, all of that. On top of that, he can run with the football. He can run through people. You don't want him to do that too much, but but I think Kyle Shanahan knows how he's going to use him, as I slipped over my words there. The other person who is not on this graphic right here, who I should mention, is Davis Mills, rookie quarterback for the Houston Football Texans. He was picked in the 3rd round this year. He was actually their first pick in the entire draft, because the Houston Texans didn't have picks in the first 2 rounds this year, because they traded them all away thinking that they were building a dynasty when they were actually destroying one that wasn't actually a dynasty. But so is the case of Bill O'Brien. But Davis Mills has played very good, considering the situation he's in, too. Because they're not in a good situation either. 2 touchdowns, 5 picks. They were in that game against the Panthers last Thursday night. They were atrocious, if we're being honest, against the Bills. But it's the Bills. That is the class of the NFL, if we're being honest. So it struggles for him. He's another quarterback, similar to Zack Wilson, put into a situation where I think he probably shouldn't have been if you want to develop him to his full potential, but you got to live and learn, and he's next man up. Tyrod Taylor obviously got injured, and he was the next guy on the depth chart, and maybe that's before he probably should have been starting. Maybe that's before a lot of people wanted him starting, but that's the NFL. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.